Welcome back to your favorite podcast, Pixel Buzz, where we talk about
nerd culture,
tech news,
and everything in between.
with a little bit of a buzz. We are your hosts, who is Zane. Go ahead and find me on Instagram, Twitter, and my webpage. And
I'm Schematis. You can find me at the same. Look it up. You know what I'm saying?
there you go.
Let's talk about this stuff, man.
Yeah, we're actually going to revisit a topic that we spoke about a few podcasts ago, Mr. Hideo Kojima. But this time, just specifically Death Stranding.
The man himself.
He made a comment that was probably not too pleasing to the U.S. customer base.
Listen, it's all right. I think he had, we can get into this, but I don't think he was 100% wrong, though.
No, we're going to talk about that, of course, as well.
Of course.
But for those who probably don't know, Hideo made was in an interview with this website, TGC or TGCom24, where he made a comment regarding how U.S. gamers are more of FPS, first-person shooters.
Yeah. I mean, I disagree and I agree. It's tricky, man. But it was like beyond that. Because he said they were more into first-person shooters and they wouldn't appreciate his game for what it was because it kind of resonated with a different audience who are more, artsy or aesthetically, and that kind of was a little bit of an attack. I think it was a little bit aggressive.
So Sony put out another statement.
Okay.
They were saying that the actual translation, because this is a French
magazine?
magazine,
okay.
or website, and they were translating it into, quote, in America there are a lot of FPS fans. Maybe those fans are saying this is like a different game and are not rating it very high or highly, end quote. But then IGN came out with their own translation, which they translated it to, I must say that the game has received some enthusiastic reviews, above all in Europe and Japan. Here in the US, instead, we've had grown a stronger criticism. Perhaps it's a game that's difficult to understand for a certain type of critic and some of the public. Americans are some of the biggest first-person shooter fans, and Death Strand isn't that.
Okay, so that sounds a lot better. That sounds a lot better than the other translation.
Yeah.
So he obviously, look, Death Stranding has been the most anticipated game for a long time, and now that it's finally out, you've got your hands on it. What do you feel about it? And be honest.
Yeah. So, I already have about 10 hours in, cool. Which is not that much, to be quite honest.
Because it's time. You can make an opinion in 10 hours. Though.
Yeah, you definitely can.
Yeah, for sure.
It took me about 3 hours to finally actually have some sort of understanding to the game, which is quite a long time for you to be able to fully enjoy the game.
So the tutorial system is not as
intuitive.
No. Oh, really?
They do throw you into certain situations where you do have to just follow the commands. The button commands are on the screen.
But
but not everything is explained.
You kind of learn through trial and error almost.
Nor do I want to spoil anything.
No spoilers.
So, but yeah, you do learn mostly through trial and errors. There's like scans that you can do. There are grenades that you can create.
Nice.
And all of this isn't fully explained. And sometimes it is explained, but you're so overwhelmed with all the information that you're trying to understand that you skim it. It's like not important to you.
I see. So like basically throwing so much information at you in one shot, or like all the time, where you kind of have to filter out what's important and what's not.
Yeah,
really.
You're kind of left on your own to decide what you want to look at, and then you can always go back. They do have in the start menu, you can go to your tips menu, and you can always go there. And there's more lore in there as well if you want to continue that. Okay. But it's just another step that you have to take to kind of understand more of the game.
I can feel this out. So you know what? Here's what I'll say. I had my hands on it for about maybe like an hour or two. I can't really make a full-blown opinion, but when I saw the game come out, I realized that maybe it wasn't my cup of tea. I don't know what it was about the gameplay itself. It just seemed very, very niche. I think it was very, very niche. I think I'm gonna definitely get into it and fully get the full experience. But just looking at it, it didn't seem like something I would actually be willing to get into, right? So I guess my question is like, I'm not a Metal Gear fan. I know of Hideo and his work. great developer, great producer, but I don't know if he missed a mark, but maybe he had targeted such a very small community of gamers that this is why it's kind of getting these mixed reviews where it's like maybe the game itself is not bad or horrible, but it's just very, centered, very focused.
Yeah, he definitely aimed for a very small community. I know that he has a lot of support. He has a lot of fans.
Yeah.
But I think it was kind of almost a little naive for him to think that everyone was going to like it.
Got it.
His
ego.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty sure it was an ego hitting thing for him. Because he is such an amazing game creator.
Absolutely.
That I think he thought that this one was just gonna do a little bit better in the U.S.
And it was just not that at all.
No. Also, you have American actors for voice and physical actors throughout the whole game. You have Monster as one of your top advertisement. You have AMC advertisement in the game. So I think he felt like U.S. maybe even owed it to him. Like,
because we have all of the things that you guys are
American
culture.
Even
good point.
It's the United Cities of America.
Right. It's very loosely based.
Yeah. It's very, there are shots that are taken to a couple of political things. So it's interesting that he put this whole American environment in the game. So I think he definitely assumed that the Americans or the U.S.
would be more receptive.
Yeah.
Man, it's hard because even people that I knew that were anticipating the game for a long time ended up not buying it. And instead, what they're doing is just watching people play it.
But you see, that's a very interesting point.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead and
finish.
No.
That was really my point. Cut me off. Go ahead. Throw it at me. I don't know, man.
Seeing a gameplay, seeing a walkthrough is going to be very boring.
Really?
It is not. You remember Dead Space?
Oh, man. Did I? That's one of my favorite games of all time, actually.
You watch it,
yeah,
and you're like, oh man, why didn't he turn that or why didn't he turn faster? Or you can hear things and you're like, yo, to your right or something. But while you're playing the game, you're so overwhelmed with everything.
I see.
That you probably skip certain things. So watching the gameplay in Death Stranding, you're not the one that has to press the L2 or R2 to balance yourself.
I see.
You're not the one that has to struggle with when the BT is trying to pull you down.
The decision-making process is missing. And that's the part that people are gravitating for.
Tense.
The tense, like, so I know that, like, you kind of like have a balancing act kind of a thing happening here where you're kind of moving left and right. You don't want to drop all your cargo. It's very an inventory heavy based game. So you're saying watching it is not going to give you the same fulfilling
satisfaction of playing the actual game because you're worried about a lot of things. When you encounter a BT.
Okay.
You are, or I think they're called, the definition of it is beach things. They're actually beach things because they're these things came out of the beach. Anyway,
I gotta play
we're not gonna spoil too much of it.
No. Go ahead. We could skip all that.
But when you're around these things, there are ways that you can get around them, right?
Okay.
So you can hold your breath, and if you stand still, you can see them. If you move, you could sometimes see where they're at, but they're very pixelated. Then once you stand still, you can see everything kind of get together, and then you see them.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Your BB, which is the baby that you carry in the center, also reacts to them around you. The BB has a panic situation where when it's around it, the heart starts beating, and if the BT starts chasing you, the baby starts crying.
Okay.
It has a panic meter.
So it kind of alerts you when danger is near you.
Yeah, but it also freaks out when you are in danger. Like when you are fighting a BT.
Got it.
It keeps crying. It is. Have you heard a baby cry?
I mean, of course.
Have you
airplane?
It's maybe not, and it's biologically created so that when it cries, you're aware of its crying.
Yeah.
And it's made for you to care for it. The crying situation is made so that you pay attention and you care for it.
Okay.
But when you have it on the game and it's freaking out, you hear the BB crying, and you're trying to run away from BT, and trying to maintain your stamina.
Your anxiety is going up.
Your personal anxiety is going up.
Interesting. So you cannot get this from watching someone playing this game.
It's impossible.
So basically, you shouldn't watch someone play it then.
No.
You should just jump into it yourself and then make your own opinion.
Yeah, if there is a way to, I mean, it's expensive. It's a whole game.
It's a game, but I think that. So here's what I saw from just a quick scan. The whole thing here is like the comments are mixed, but when I see the negative reviews, they're like really negative. They're like, don't play this. It's overrated and all this stuff. Like, what do you think about that? Like, right? Because I haven't gotten that far.
I mean,
right?
You said. If it looks like it's not your cup of tea, probably don't get it.
I think I might, but I'll wait till it drops. I don't think I'll buy it at the $65 mark. I think it'll come in at 40, maybe 35.
I think you could definitely wait. The game is. My coworker was actually mentioning that she wanted to get the game, but wanted to wait, and then she was informed that there is this like cooperative mode. Not cooperative mode. There is a cooperation within the
mechanic. Yeah, I heard about that. Like, you can like build things like ladders or shortcuts.
Yeah, and then other people not necessarily shortcuts, but ladders. You can throw ropes. You can do roads, bridges.
Okay.
And then people can use it. But she was worried that if she waited too long, then there's like roads mapping everywhere.
Oh, as soon as she starts the game.
Yeah. Which is a fair thought, but I think just because reviewers and developers didn't want to really spoil too much of it, but you basically can't access any of those networks. They call them networks, where you connect with other people until you actually make it to the place. So you go from city to city connecting everyone, right?
Okay.
But on your first mission to that city,
there's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
That's
so you're
fair.
solo.
That's fair. I think that's fair. That way there's like a, the difficulty still remains for new incoming players. You don't just get an easy pass.
No.
I respect that, actually.
Yeah, so it's good. It's just, like you said, it's not for everyone.
No. So here's another thing. It looks very cinematic, and I think a lot of people are saying it's cinematic, right?
Beautiful.
Here's my whole thing with this, right? I love cinematic games. I don't know if you played like Heavy Rain or Beyond Two Souls. Like, I think those games where you're playing a movie, you expect the gameplay to be a little slower, not too much happening. You have a couple of decisions here and there, but it's very, very streamlined. I think in this case, the people had the most gripes with the game being so slow in terms of travel. Like, you weren't getting from point A to point B very quickly. You had to really like feel the journey. And I'm like, now the question is it fun?
Good question.
Right? Now is it fun?
It can be.
It can be.
At times, within the 10 hours that I've played, I've turned off the console twice.
Nice. So yeah, like 5-hour sessions, like basically.
Yeah. Not a lot of people can play this game because it's fun, but it's kind of like a Dark Souls fun. Where it's like you feel accomplishment is not as hard.
Okay, that's fair too.
It's definitely not as hard. I don't think anything will ever be as hard as Dark Souls or Bloodborne.
Sekiro is pretty crazy.
Sekiro is
it's nuts. It's so.
I feel like that parry though. Oh, man. Everyone that I saw. Well, anyway,
we'll get into that later. It's
that's another game. If you guys want us to review Sekiro,
very punishing. All right, we'll get to that later.
Let us know in the comments down below. But yeah, Kojima's beautiful Death Stranding game.
Yeah,
like you said, it's very cinematic. But at times you kind of like the journey,
just to slow down and just like this is something different.
Alone.
You like being alone
until you encounter what it's called time rain, and then you get BTs around you, and then you're freaking out.
And you freak out again. So you can enjoy the environment. It's beautiful. It's lush, but it's like it doesn't keep you in that moment for too long because something's gonna happen, and then it throws you off track, and that's where the game really hits you as a player, right? I think it's worth experiencing. I think everyone has like a really drastic opinion on this. This is why I'm so interested in it. I think I don't know if it necessarily missed the mark, but maybe it reached that popularity that he expected. Yeah. But I don't think that he was attacking Americans that hard or anything like that. I just think it was he wants his work to shine, I mean, he put 3 years into this project, I think?
Yeah.
Like 3 years?
3 to 4 years.
I would
right
be
after
upset.
removing himself from Konami and stuff. So I mean, he did put his heart and soul. It's some of the stuff that he did in the game is questionable. Again, you're thrown into battle situations without necessarily being informed of how to combat it too much. Thankfully, there's always like help around. You just have to know how to look for it. There's also weird advertisement. And it's known for everyone. There's monster bottles.
Yeah.
You can only recover stamina by drinking Monster.
How much do you think you got paid for that?
So this is the thing. Like, okay. So we get that you wanted to do something cinematic, but that doesn't mean that plugs have to be
everywhere,
all over the place.
Ah, I see. So it kind of got distracting.
Yeah.
I can feel that.
I mean, not even distracting. It's just so out of place.
Out of place. Like a little bit try-hardish.
Yeah.
Come on. You don't need to put this here.
What game has been putting...
No, I haven't really seen
advertisement.
Not really any, or like maybe they'll do like some kind of spin-off. Like, you know, there's like fake brands that look similar.
Exactly.
Those are fun. But I think when it's actually a real brand, I get a little bit like, you know?
It's interesting.
Are they pushing your game for you? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, were there maybe boundaries, or were there some sort of legality issues that you couldn't maybe develop more of the story in the game because of that? Or
you know what I'm saying? You never know. And that kind of puts like a little red flag a little bit, right? Yeah. But yeah.
Let us know what you guys think. Have you purchased the game? Have you played it?
Good questions.
Have you been getting panic attacks? Because I know I have. Let us know in the comments down below.
Nice.
And that is about it. Till next time.